Well, let's welcome back to the AM show and let's delve into the big stories. For today, President John Mahama's goodwill may gradually be chipping away. Why? Because his approval ratings have started dropping, and they've dropped by 6 percentage points from 73 in July to 67 in September, but still enjoys support from all the 16 regions of the land. And that's according to a latest poll from the Info Analytics, their September report. What are the causes of this? And any parallels from Imani Paul's report, we look at the data, number, strength, and what this means for the government. Joining us for us to have a breakdown of this, a particular report from the Global Info Analytics is the Executive Director himself of Global Info Analytics, Musa Dankwa. Grateful to you, sir, for joining. Now, let's look at what even informed the work you did and what numbers are we looking at?
So what do you have?
3 months. So the timelines or the calendars are known.
Okay.
The last one was in July, and this is the current one we've just done. We sampled about 1,997 people on the telephone nationwide, and also further 7,500 in the field face-to-face across 83 constituencies and all the 16 regions. What we're saying is that the usual stuff we track every 90 days, direction of the country, approval of the president, approval of the government as a body, corruption perception in terms of overall assessment of corruption, and whether the government is fighting corruption, and also standard of living of voters are things we measure regularly. And what we saw this time around is a bit of softening in the numbers for John Mahama and the government as a whole.
This should be normal, isn't it?
It's normal, but sometimes when the drop is sharp, then you know that something is driving it. If you look at the numbers from John Mahama, dropped by 6%. And that's quite huge in polling numbers when it comes to polling. Normally, polls don't drop that kind of massively. And also, if you look at the direction of the country, about 5% down from the highest of, I think, 71 or so, is quite down. And that's also sharp. And if you look at those who say that the government is doing well in fighting corruption, that is down as well. So these are a bit of indication that tells you that, look, people are getting a bit agitated and probably concerned about certain things that are happening between the July and now.
So once you say if the drop is sharp, then something is causing it.
Yes.
Did this poll also reveal what exactly is causing that drop, sharp drop?
No, we can only infer. We didn't ask specific questions. Okay. If you look at standard of living, it's dropped marginally, about 2% compared to last year. When you compare the like-for-like data for July and now, dropped by 2%. So we don't believe that drop is linked heavily to economy. But if you look at the perception of fighting corruption, that has dropped. Now, usually we test perception about corruption of the government, but we put that on hold until December because it was too frequent for us. But we don't believe there's perception of corruption on the part of the government itself. I believe the reason that is happening is that people are thinking that they are not pursuing certain corrupt cases vigorously enough. And I think that can be linked to the rural and what we've seen people talk about oral and lack of action. And also the talk recently about the plea bargain people are trying to get behind the scene, which people are really angry about. They don't expect people who steal money to be able to bargain and get go scot-free or get less sentence. And I think that's something they have to fight and try and address that with the public. The public don't have appetite for plea bargain, and the government must be listening and listening very carefully. That is on our side. And then also the Galamsey issue has been heightened recently. And I believe the heightening of Galamsey issues has something to do with what people are thinking about where the country is headed.
Now, does it foretell how this government, or the approval rating of this government by, say, 2026, for example? Can you, based on the trend over the period, to say that probably in 2026, this is how it will go?
No. I mean, when it comes to data, a first drop in a number is not a trend.
Okay.
A second drop is not a trend. But if you continue for a third time, then you can say this is clearly a trend that is manifesting. So this is just a blip.
Okay.
We want to see whether it's an outlier and whether it will pick up again next time. If it doesn't and it drops again, then it should be a very big concern for them. And then if it drops again, then that means that, look, we are in probably a very muddy waters.
Is it the first time it's dropping?
Yes, for John Mahama.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, if you compare where Nado was in 2024, October.
Okay.
October, the last tracking poll that we did under Mahama, Nado was on 36% approval rating.
Okay.
Very, very low. And the first tracking for Mahama was 66%. 66% for Mahama in the first tracking poll. So if you look at where Nado was and where Mahama moved to, it was quite big significant. And now he dropped to 67. Still higher than his first poll. So you can see that 1, 2 in 3 people still are.
Was it 66?
Yeah.
Because and it is 67 now.
Now.
And there's an improvement.
Yeah, even though it is declined, it's no worse performance for him. His first tracking poll, he was enjoying 66%. 66%.
Okay.
Then he went to, I think, 73 or so. And now 67.
Okay.
So you can see that even though there's a decline, it hasn't dropped below his first numbers that was recorded in April 2020.
His approval, right?
Approval rating, yes.
But in July it was 73.
Yes.
So he moved from 66 to 73.
And then
now it's now dropping.
Yes, yes.
Marginally to... Okay, it's not marginal, right?
It's quite sharp. It's quite sharp.
67.
Yes.
That's 6%
drop.
But can that also be influenced by the sort of news that has come about this government? For example,
certainly.
The use of a private jet and what have you, the Galamsey, and these are all part of it?
No, we know the private jet was not true.
Okay.
And social media is quite rapid in disputing that. So that is not the issue. I think the issue sits for me, from what I understand, talking to people, around Galamsey, around failure to see concrete steps on oral, which is very key in terms of how people voted. There are some people who voted for Mahama because of the oral promise. And then the person not seeing oral, even though you yourself are not being said to be corrupt or a government, but you are failing to act in the eyes of the people. Some are saying, are they condoning it? And if you look at what this guy said some weeks back, that some NDC lawyers are trying to negotiate cut deals behind the scene, that really made people angry. Right? Those kind of news feed annoy voters, and they begin to rate you lower than they would have otherwise done. And then you look at oral side, gone quiet, even though they said they are working behind the scene, people are not patient. So these are the things that will affect the overall performance of the government, and indeed that of the president.
And it also corroborates with those who think that the country is not headed in the right direction, right?
Those move in tandem. They are highly correlated. Once the rest of the country goes down, Mahama will go down. Okay. If Mahama goes up, that number will go up.
Okay. Quite interesting. Because that also declined from 71% in July to 66%.
Yes.
Okay. And then for performance, 18% rate the performance as excellent, right? 54 say very good, 12 say average, with 16 say very poor. But if you combine the performing very well together, that will give you a higher number.
It's still a higher number. But if you see, that's why we're always comparing the last period and the current period. If you don't do that, you don't see what has happened. But showing that, you can see that overall, in terms of performance of the government, those who are saying very good or good has declined from 61 to 54%. Okay. Then you can put this into context. Those who were saying excellent was 19% before for the government as a whole, now 18%, a drop of 1%. Those who are saying average moved from 10 to 12. And those who are saying very poor or poor moved from 11 to 16. You can see that people are getting a bit dissatisfied with the government performance based on what we just mentioned.
I mean, I don't know, recently you had the Imani also. Let me just still stay with your data, because at a point in time you mentioned how many of the voters are on social media. And I think that's around 70% or so.
Yes.
With 30% not being on social media.
Yes.
It means if you win the social media war, you're winning the game.
Absolutely. I mean, yes. I mean, social media is a place that everyone must be. If you're a politician and you don't know what is happening there, you'll be really, really shocked. Now, the sentiment that are being heard on social media eventually will reflect on the ground. When we go to the field and we do face-to-face interview, these people that are on social media are the same people we are engaging on daily or on quarterly basis. So whatever they are putting out on social media, they will tell us. And the feedback you see. And that's where I think there's a correlation between what we found now and what a money sentiment analysis was showing much earlier on.
Okay.
But we had figures to it. They didn't have figures actually to put it, but we are giving the actual numbers in terms of people's behavior.
Oh, so it means that there is sort of a collaboration or corroboration of what they found
absolutely.
And what we have found.
Yes, absolutely.
Interesting.
Yes.
Because when that came out, a lot of people were asking questions.
Yeah.
But now once you have numbers to it,
then it settles the argument.
So the government, if it's worried or it's interested in, say, we want to still stay in power, should pay attention to this.
Absolutely. And they're not paying anything for this data. We're doing for the country and for good governance. And you see that they will respond because the numbers are not in their favor. And when they respond, who benefits? Ghanaians benefit. So I think they have to have their ears on the ground and see what the poll numbers are saying.
But also no opinion moved from 9 to 11% in terms of whether the country is moving in the right direction or not.
Yeah, so sometimes they don't want to take a stand. So let me wait a little and see. Right? So people say, I'm not sure, I don't have an opinion. Eventually, if care is not taken, they will move from no opinion to wrong direction.
Oh, okay.
The transition.
Okay, so the wrong direction moved from 20 to 23. That's a percentage of 3. No opinion moved from 2 to 11. So if you combine, that would be like a 5% increase in terms of people who probably feel that something is not right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. But in that case, what should government do really? Because government feels that, well, look, they are fighting it, they are dealing with the oral cases in court, government is trying to be prudent. What
for us, we can only help them every 90 days. As a government and in state, they must have interest in knowing comprehensively what the issues are with Galamsey, what people think. We cannot do their work for them. So you have to be able to test at some point in time the issues about Galamsey, what people are saying, both in the mining areas and non-mining areas, and what other questions that you like to probe to see what your response should be. Because your response must be driven by facts. Facts. And if you don't have that fact and you rely on probably perception, then you'll be taking wrong remedies in terms of how you address the issue. And then you can also do another survey, within the same survey, on corruption perception, and comprehensive one, and in terms of oral, and what people think, or what people want you to do. You can even test the issue about plea bargain, whether people like it or not. I remember when the bill went to Parliament, I was really saying that this thing could be a deadly poison challenge for any government that comes in the future. We are seeing that people are now thinking that those laws were put in place to enable these guys who steal money to be pat in the back and go and walk scot-free. And because the integrity of our legal system is not very robust, people don't trust people who make decisions about this plea bargain. And rightly so, this guy was saying that people who are behind the scenes scheming to negotiate. And these are trust issues that people don't believe these guys can be trusted to do the right thing.
But is that not purely hearsays, for example? Because even though the General Secretary is saying that,
he's not an ordinary person.
We know.
Yes.
But what's the evidence that, in fact, that is happening?
How many evidence of corruption do you see out there?
Okay.
There's corruption out there. And the public hears some of these things and they get angry. Look, we are in a different times. And these guys must understand. About 78% of voters are below 44 years of age. These are not people who you can sway by propaganda or some kind of, tricks. They are smart people on social media. Be very, very careful how you handle them.
Okay. So it sort of tells the politician today that your methodology in doing things should be different from how you used to do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And people that you see are not able to connect with the voters are people who are using old methods, old systems, old approach in trying to win votes. This time around, the game has changed.
But the right direction seems to be different in terms of the region.
Yes.
What explains that? Because you look at the Northern region, 80, Oti region 72, Savannah region 69, and Savannah region is where he comes from, right? Where the president comes from. Upper East 65, Upper West 73, Volta region 62, Western region 52%. Okay, I guess the last one should be Western North, right?
The Western North.
Western North 71. But Western region is too down in terms of...
Western region is a very difficult region. In fact, for some time now, they've always not been happy. So,
yeah, because you take from us, you don't give us.
It could be one of the explanations. They're always not happy. Even though they may overall be happy, but if you look at the proportion, they are always below many regions, in fact, most of the regions.
Because if you look at those who say wrong direction, aside the Volta region, Western region is the second highest with the numbers who say that the country is moving in the wrong direction.
Yes.
Then the government should pay particular attention to the Volta and Western region.
Absolutely, and Volta is concerned because Volta is supposed to be your
World Bank.
Your World Bank. If at this stage they are getting a bit jittery, then you must find out what is going on.
Would a big push do anything? Because in these two regions, the Western region, I can tell you that a lot of it probably will be based on poor road.
Look,
so big push says we're going to do a lot of road.
This polling data captures what has happened between July
and September.
Whatever happens going forward will also be captured.
Okay.
Now, if they feel that things are happening and they feel that, look, the big push will make a difference to them in terms of road, you see different sentiments being expressed. But it doesn't take away their feeling about certain aspect of Ghanaian life that they need to vent their anger on. Especially now that schools have resumed. Now, if you put a poll there and ask people what are your top issues that affect you, you see education climbing up. People are struggling to get their walls, dry schools, and so on and so forth. So some of these things are time-bound, and it changes from time to time.
And no opinion, for example, Western region alone, 21. That's the highest, too much.
Yes.
And the gap is just wide.
They can't say wrong direction, but they can't say right direction either. If you look at the net direction, 52 minus 27, it's very, very low.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are on the fence waiting to see what will happen. So maybe if things improve for them, they may change from no opinion to right or wrong direction.
Wow. It means the government should pay attention to Western region. But we're just about wrapping up. Let's do the MPP's, presidential race. What is the data looking like now?
Look, we're going to release the new data Monday.
Oh, just Monday?
Monday.
Okay.
It was supposed to be part of this report, but we didn't want this issue to be
exactly, because they will be convoluted.
We wanted people to talk about the governance issues first before the MPP, NDC. If we throw in the NDC, MPP, nothing of this sort will be discussed today. We'll be talking about... But what we are seeing, I think, is the race for MPP has stabilized.
Okay.
We're not seeing fluidity in the numbers.
Okay.
Both the work we've done for delegates and the one we've done for public opinion, there seems to be convergence of public opinion and also the delegate decision in the MPP. I'm not going to put a lot out there today, but next week, Monday, that will come out. When it comes to the NDC too, that is a long way to go, but we are seeing certain kind of...
we've seen a video out there for General Mosquito, which sort of people have said, well, it's a declaration of intent. Yesterday, Harry Nadusu urged the vice president to become the first female president of this country. So there's some element coming up, right? People have also talked about the chief of staff, a very fine personality, and thinking that looking at his fineness, he suitable for the president.
In the last poll that we conducted, Haruna was the one leading the pack.
Okay.
So if he is sitting in that position to Jenana, that would be a very interesting equation to look at.
Okay.
But look, the data shows that this country wants to move away from older leaders.
To younger people?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I have to try and file to be president of the country because I'm a young man, right? Data will favor me. But maybe the cash will not favor me.
No.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dankwa, for coming up. Mr. Dankwa is the Executive Director for the Global Info Analytics. He breaks down the approval rating of this government and what possibly could be proper information for the government to say, should we turn our eye and look at what's happening here or not? Well, you saw the numbers there. Let's see how the reaction will be and what the people will say in the next polling that Mr. Dankwa and his people at Global Info will do. But this is still the AM show. Do stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We have more for you.